On November 22nd, we announced that New Life Church would not be having any more in-person services for the foreseeable future because of an increase in cases in COVID-19 and people gathering for the holidays. Even though we were sad about not being able to worship together, we were confident because of the New Life Watch Party movement that had started just before the resurgence of the COVID cases. We challenged the church to host New Life at their house. And it's been almost 3 months, and we wanted to check in with the New Life Watch Party team to see how God has been moving through this ministry.
God had been putting this on our heart for the last probably 7 to 10 years to start house churches and to start bringing people into community right where they live, because there's so many people in our families that will walk into our home but may never walk into a church.
We talk about this time where we launched a lot of watch parties, but we've actually been talking about the vision of watch parties for years. It just never lined up before COVID, and then the time everything started falling into place. We never want to start something or do something that God isn't blessing with people that hearts are already primed for it. When we all started reaching out, we got like 8 yeses immediately.
I mean, just the praise responses of people looking for this. They were looking for connection.
It wasn't a failure that it didn't happen all those years ago when we started talking about it, that he had put everyone in place, and really with COVID being what it was, used it as a moment to redeem what the pandemic was.
So when Thanksgiving was kind of coming around, we were planning on shutting the church back down because we wanted to keep everyone safe and didn't want to spread COVID at all. And so watch parties was the perfect way to give the community of church and still be able to spread the gospel. And so we did sign-ups the week before Thanksgiving. People were so pumped. It was really exciting. We had like 50 sign-ups, I think.
Yeah,
first
it was 50
weekend?
or 60 the first
weekend.
Yeah.
So
It was
texting
awesome.
people
were like running out. They were like,
Yeah.
I want to start one. I
At
want to
every
start
campus.
one.
And we're just connecting with people who said yes, and like every 5 minutes one of us would be like, oh my gosh, it was so obvious by people's responses that God had made them ready for it. It was like this surreal spiritual moment where all of us were just like, why is this working? Why are we moving so fast? This is so blessed, and this is so beyond us. So when someone is interested in starting a watch party, or sometimes we see potential in them and we'll ask them, the first step is honestly to see a little bit of what's already going on. So sometimes we'll invite someone to a training that they haven't even committed to joining the movement yet. But they'll get to watch how people interact and what people get excited about, or we'll just jump on the phone with them, explain a little bit of the stories, and once they commit, once they're excited about it or they say yes, we go through one training with them. It's super simple. And a lot of it is less practical and more of a mindset shift of ownership for the people that you want to invite into your house, and pastoring your people and seeing yourself as their pastor, even if it's only your family. After that, we assign them to a coach, and their coach hits the ground running with them to launch, and then help them every step of the way after that to continue their watch party, because it's something that we're doing together, and it's something that the team is really the biggest supporting part, is that you're surrounded by people and you're led by people who are taking part in the same thing.
I feel like we literally get to watch the whole story play out, where Jesus goes after the one, leaves the 99 and goes after the one. And we all have that person that we wish would come to church with us and come to service with us, and to hear, oh, they come to the house.
Well, especially we have a couple watch parties that just exist for one person. And so when we are talking to people, we're like, that's it. Like the hosts are kind of like, well, it's just for one person. We're like, no, that's perfect. And so that's been really cool.
Yeah, and they all have, the cohort is a really cool dynamic, because you get people who like that, who a family is hosting because they have one friend that they know would never walk into a church and they want that one person there. And then you have watch parties that are like potentially going to launch their own church one day, and then everything in the middle, and they're coming together in this one cohort coached by this one coach, and all things are valuable. And so we get to see that really come to life when the cohorts are together and are all being valuable to each other and completing the picture, and seeing that God is doing a full work with the team. not just with one individual. We've been talking a lot about what does this look like moving forward, because when we did challenge the entire church and all kind of got behind this in one big push, it was in response to COVID. It was because we wanted to do church in a safer way. But moving forward, the vision is detached from COVID itself.
Right.
The watch party leaders that have all signed up are not going to all stop because we're going to start in-person services again. That church has still been happening, and church will always happen, and church is the body, and it's beyond New Life, and and so that's what we see the watch party movement as is church. When church opens up here, when in-person services open up here, there's still so much opportunity for watch parties to connect with that one person that we talk about all the time. There's watch parties that exist because people will never come into the church, but they'll go into someone's living room. And then there are watch parties that'll exist, even just families that watch together who might come into in-person services, but watching again in their home gives them an opportunity to go into conversation and to invite God into the deepest, most intimate parts of their lives together in an intimate space where they do life every day. And so there's all these variations of what a watch party would look like, but all of them still fit into in-person services opening back up, and God's still moving in these watch parties.
This isn't just like a Charles County thing. Like, we have one in Georgia thing. We have one in New Jersey that we always get super excited.
There's one in Missouri about to start.
About to be Hawaii.
And so we're just super excited to bring just the gospel to other places. Like, that's the mission, like loving God, loving people, bringing it to the world. And so it's bigger than us, and that's what's really cool.
Yeah.